They were racing against time, from a rural clinic to Wange, then to St. Luke's Hospital, and finally to Mpilo Central Hospital. At every stop, Elliot's family hoped they were getting closer to saving his life, but according to his 94-year-old mother, Maria Shoko, power outages at 2 health facilities meant the treatment his son urgently needed could not be provided immediately. By the time they reached Mpilo, it was too late.
Ukiniga bati beta mutoli kuchibadira. Bamutola kuchibadira kwangi kuya abakusika ngabate magesi takwe. Mchina tuke magesi. Walala. Wacha kuseni matime yama time nakalano. Tozobona mbaba babola futi. Anini ndaba kabati tekwa tutole St. Luke's. Binka ke St. Luke's kuya. Bakujanika kulako futi. No magesi. Walala no kusirikwa. Watalika kuvunda manje okukulu kwakali kwatyoka amampango akalatyoka. Manje kuti bamuoperate janika muntu tachichitiki wazimba. Bamuyinje bamutola kumpiro kubruwali. Kwaka kumani.
It was in 2021 that one's family life changed forever. The mother still remembers that evening. It was around 9 p.m. when Elliot was brought back home after the elephant attack before he was rushed to hospital. She asked him what had happened. Elliot told her he had mistaken an elephant for 4 people walking ahead of him. Those were among the last words she heard before he was taken away for treatment and never returned home.
Tazobona muntu wazosika kati ino umfana wazwa kubawo waswana ninzo akale wakata akate kamnyonzi yani mwijana alikategwa yali imvuzo yakora lino wabonanga ngeti animponda swana nabantu babalifo animbani maolenzo vimbi akalombi akamutandani akale yazomujata anti mubatondezi yazomujata ikona akalale yamulimaza kupukachula habanke bala mukula na bakumutola zomunjizi ya munganda kujana muntu watalika kuzimba tumbututu kati utumbuli akaliliona kala mukati.
But how did we come to know Elliot's story? It began with another interview. We had traveled to Mabale to document the story of an elephant attack survivor, Hangani Dube. During our conversation, he mentioned his neighbor, Elliot. He told us that he had been killed by an elephant, leaving behind young children and an elderly mother who now struggles without the son who cared for her. Those words stayed with us. We wanted to know more. So we followed the story to Elliot's homestead, where we met his 94-year-old mother, Maria Shoko.
Makirona lapa. Yambulala. Lapa. Tambama ephuma lapha wayithola duze lemizi yahle yambulala khonapho kuthiwa Elliot umuntu la.
Time has passed, but for Maria Shoko, the pain has never really gone away. Every day is a reminder of the son she lost. We asked her how life has changed and what she now hopes for.
Ngwabini ndaba ndikuti iwalino andi mumuntu bwene ndakasikali ndike takho ingunda ali kukalawe so takwecha kuti chindigwasya so ningakana kuti kulazumika kuti kaba ndigwasya mbichani akuti ambibonke jana kuti ndule chikafu cha kuti ndili kuti sichikwezi kundibaso.
Elliot's story is one of many from communities living on the front line of human-wildlife conflict. While villagers continue to call for fair compensation and greater support for victims and their families, Maria Shoko's hope is simple, that no family should have to face such loss without help, because when the cameras leave and the headlines fade, families like hers are left to live with the consequences every day. This was part 3 of Living on the Front Line. My name is Nokutaba Dlamini. Thank you for watching.